Bitcoin, Michael Saylor. Has Michael Saylor, the Bitcoin maximalist, got FOMO today? Has Michael Saylor got FOMO today? Well, we're going to show you some evidence that perhaps he does. We're looking at Bitcoin today. Bitcoin is going literally parabolic, literally, and we think that, well, at least I think that Michael Saylor has got some FOMO. What do I mean by that? Well, if we look at Bitcoin today, it's at 72,503. If we look at MicroStrategy is literally a chart you dream of. Straight up, literally parabolic, just facing north. Boom. There's no sideways action. There's just straight up. So do you think that Michael Saylor today has some FOMO? Is it the right thing to do? I'm going to share with you some numbers which might blow your mind a little bit today, as all the markets are turning extremely bullish, but we are cooling back a little bit. It's very important to note that we are pulling back a little bit. What do I mean by that? Well, if I share with you the fear index, which is always very, very important to look at, we've gone from extreme greed into heavy greed, to backing back, coming down towards neutral. So be careful. But of course, we've got the halving just a couple of months away, and it's expected to continue rising and rising and rising. Now then, the reason why I talk about has Michael Saylor got FOMO today? Well, let's talk about it. These are the points I want to share with you. MicroStrategy has just acquired an additional 12,000 Bitcoin. Now, we know Michael Saylor is a total maximalist, and there's nothing wrong with that. He believes in it. I believe in it. I own it. I get it, but I own it at $15,000. Okay, he might have a few more than me. Yes, he probably does. However, I have it at 15,000. But today, Michael Saylor has bought 12,000 extra Bitcoin, 821.7 million, using the proceeds from convertible notes and excess cash, for 68,477 per coin, right? So MicroStrategy now holds 205,000 Bitcoin. So we all know that Bitcoin is going to continually rise into the halving, and then there's a very, very good chance it's going to go down. Now, you might say to yourself, well, what if it carries on at $68,000 a coin? Doesn't sound that expensive. If it's for $1 million or 10 million or a gazillion or whatever number you want to put to it. No, I appreciate that. I understand that though. But if you are the total maximalist, total committed to Bitcoin, you believe that Bitcoin is without doubt the greatest thing in the world, why would you not have bought as much as you can at $20,000 when it was, or even $15,000, which is when I was buying it? Why wouldn't you do that? Well, of course, that's the eternal question. I'm still buying the S&P now, and the S&P continually rises. I can't buy the S&P for what it was 20 years ago. I can't. The only way you can do that is if you borrow money, which you of course can do. You can use margin, and you regard margin as less expensive than what you can gain. So you buy as much as an asset as you believe in, whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's any cryptocurrency, or whether that's the S&P 500. So that's why, essentially, Michael Saylor is still buying, because now he can borrow more money because he's worth more money. MicroStrategy is worth more money. So now he can buy more. He probably bought as much as he could when it was 20 and 30 and 40. And now we can buy more at 68. You can't buy infinite amount of everything, no matter how bullish you are. But this is the difference between FOMO a little bit. Has Michael Saylor got FOMO? And what I am doing with the S&P. Because the S&P makes things and will continue to make things, whether it's iPhones or Amazon selling products. Bitcoin is only worth what people are prepared to pay for it. It can go down 80% tomorrow. If everyone sold it, it would go down. You might say, well, wouldn't everybody, what if Apple was sold tomorrow? Wouldn't it go down? Well, the moment it started going down below its value of what it actually earns, so you could actually value the intrinsic value, it would be bought up by investors, bought up by institutions to take it up again. It wouldn't be down for very long. It would simply go back up again. However, Bitcoin, because it doesn't actually make anything, doesn't actually produce anything, can go down, and it can just keep going down and down and down and down and down. And people will just wait and wait and wait. Now, at some point, people will jump in, but we don't know what the value is. We can't value it the same way as we can the S&P or Amazon or Microsoft or anybody else. It doesn't actually make any money. So how do you value Bitcoin? So that's my argument. My question of the day, has Michael Saylor got FOMO? Well, of course, we know he's a maximalist. We know he believes in Bitcoin, but should he have stopped buying it at 30,000 or whatever his average was? Let me show you now what his average is now. 6.91 billion, an average price of 33,706. That's just jumped from 30,000 to 33. So his average has gone up. So that means he hasn't got so much headroom now, so much profit, so much wiggle room. But again, doesn't matter if it's 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, 100 million, a gazillion, whatever number that might be, doesn't matter. But doesn't that put him in a dangerous position? Isn't there such a thing as greed? If you own all the Bitcoin in the world and you're the only one who owns it, well, if you owned 99% of it and you sold all of it, the guy who's got 1% of it is not worth anything, right? Is there not a danger? Now, of course, as we've got information here from Sensei, he nearly has 1% of the total Bitcoin supply. So 99% is not owned by him. So it doesn't matter really if he sold all his Bitcoin today, it isn't going to drop. But so what do you think? Mark Saxby says, pizza guy must be going crazy at those pizzas. Those pizzas cost him 726 million. I bet he is. Ed Spitzer says, my thoughts exactly. Why? Well, hopefully now we've played devil's advocate and, we've explained why. You cannot, if you believe in something, you cannot buy all of it forever in the future. The only way you can do that is borrow money that you will earn in the future. And Michael Saylor went to the limit, probably, I would imagine. He's gone to the absolute uppermost limits of what he could buy. And now he's had to wait for the value of the company to go up so he can borrow more money. But if it dropped tomorrow, his company would be finished. Absolutely finished. Is that crazy? Is that going too far? What do you think? Ed Spitzer says he buys too high like a wild fella. Well, there you go. I just bought the S&P at an all-time high. Is there any difference? Not really, but there is one difference. The S&P actually earns money. So theoretically, it'll keep growing as long as the economy keeps growing. He keeps the dollar cost averaging at his average is 33,000. But when Bitcoin goes higher, he can raise more money. Exactly. His target is $1 million. What happens at $1 million? Everybody sells it all at $1 million. I mean, would you buy a Bitcoin for $1 million? Would you buy a $1 million Bitcoin? I mean, who's buying this stuff today? Because obviously people today are paying $72,000 for Bitcoin today. They're paying that. They're looking at that today and they're seeing that as a value proposition. Let me buy Bitcoin for 72,000. Now, the thing is, the people that are buying it today probably could have bought some at 15,000 like I did. Very different with Michael Saylor, because obviously Michael Saylor is adding to his position and he's borrowing to buy more, whereas the average person probably could have bought Bitcoin at $15,000 just a few months really ago, a year or so ago. Why would you buy it today? Now, obviously people are. That's why it's going up. I wouldn't want to be paying $72,000 for a Bitcoin, would you? We had a nice little joke here. Lance Strength says he will get 2 for 1 when it splits. Look at his company, a stock as well, MSTR. This is, yes, MicroStrategy. And you can see his company has literally gone parabolic. I mean, literally straight up. I mean, if we look at that over the last, you have to look at it over the last year to really see it. In fact, so that one year you start to really see it. If you step back, if you zoom in, it doesn't look quite as exciting. Look, we got dips, and it just looks like a normal chart. But there you go. So, what's your thoughts on that? I'd love your thoughts below in the video. The question I was asking is, or has Michael Saylor got FOMO today? Fear of missing out. I bet he doesn't feel like he does. I bet he feels, no, I am completely and utterly committed. I will borrow as much money as I can, and I will buy every Bitcoin that's possible. That is obviously what he's doing. So, buying on the way up for the average investor. Yes, the average retail investor at home watching a crypto channel, not like mine because I don't pump or promote any stocks, I just tell you what it is. But they're watching those sort of channels going, I'm going to buy it, it's going to keep on going, and they can see it going up and they buy it. Those people have got FOMO, no doubt about it. They're being hyped up, the diamond hands, the go to the moon phrases. They've got fear of missing out. No doubt about it. They see it go up and just think it can go on forever. I think Michael Saylor is a much more sensible person than that, and he's simply buying as much as he can as his business gains capital and scale. He can borrow more money. However, if Bitcoin goes down, then he owes a lot of money and he hasn't got any value anymore. So then he's upside down. And we know Michael Saylor has been through that before in the past. Could he go through that again? Well, only time will tell. So there you go. There's my thoughts on Bitcoin and crypto. We will have very, very quick look at the crypto bubbles today. You can see today from the crypto bubbles, and if we see here today, not everything is up. One of my favorites is XRP. That's my second biggest position, up 18%. But Hex, that has had a good run, is now down 23%. So it can go up and down in equal measure. It can go up just as fast and down just as fast as it went up and down. That doesn't even make sense. Doesn't matter. It can go up just as fast. It can go down just as fast as it went up. That sounds better. So there you go. Leave me your thoughts below. Click above my head for all the links and all the rest of it down below in the description. Over here for more links and stuff. Basically. Until next time, thank you, Sensei, for contributing to all those facts there for me. That's how I know they're all reliable. Brilliant stuff. Until then, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.